remember a couple of years ago when Atalanta went to Anfield and beat Liverpool, and we all sat here and said, watch out for Atalanta because tactically it's a way that they could hurt them. This is how I feel about Napoli and Manchester City. It's a mismatch. This is exactly the game that Antonio Conte wants to play in, and with Højlund, who could run in behind, I think he'll be getting on the score sheet.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we can't wait for the Champions League to get back underway this week and this season. It's just the standard 4 teams that have qualified for the Champions League from Serie A. Juventus, they'll be the first team in action there at home against Borussia Dortmund. Meanwhile, last season's Champions League winners PSG, they'll host Atalanta under Ivan Juric. Inter, last season's finalists, they start their campaign against Ajax on the road. And then it's the big one, the return of Kevin De Bruyne to the Etihad as Napoli face Manchester City on Thursday. And there's a lot to look forward to, isn't there? Obviously, it was a bit bitter for Inter to finish such a tremendous campaign in Europe the way that they did in the final. This season, though, Matteo, we're going to see Napoli back in the Champions League, this time under Antonio Conte. How are they going to do against
Manchester City.
Manchester City?
You only said it like 4 times.
What are you thinking about? Where's your head?
I was thinking, did you make the prediction for this game or is it Grella?
It's Grella.
Sorry, Grella.
Good morning.
A little no look
I'm
from
a bit
Poppy.
all over the place.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
You're
Grella.
thinking about that TikTok.
I will say Manchester City's been shakier than normal. You think about Manchester City, you think Pep Guardiola, and you think you've got no chance, and you've got this monster up top in Holland, and you think there's the gap of quality is too much. So we know that the highs of Manchester City are quite high, and the quality and the levels they can meet are quite high. But they've been shaky. Now, on the flip side, they face an opponent that's been the opposite of shaky, sturdy as can be, making games look easy, defensively organized, under a fiery Antonio Conte side coming off a Scudetto win, a team that shows no weaknesses, a team that yesterday against Fiorentina showed that they're actually getting better each week with KDB, Bokama, and Højlund up top look like a new man as well. Obviously, they have McTominay, who was the MVP of the season. So this is a trickier game than you think. I understand they don't have a lot of Italian teams in the top 8 to win the Champions League, but this is a game that Manchester City probably doesn't want to play in, probably doesn't want to see, because Napoli will expose their weaknesses. They're a team that doesn't need the football. They're happy to beat you in different ways. So a difficult one for Manchester City.
Does Napoli at least get a result then, you think?
I think a draw away from home is saying a lot against Manchester City, right? We can't forget it's Manchester City and the amount of money that they spend compared to Italian clubs.
Do you remember a couple of years ago when Atalanta went to Anfield and beat Liverpool, and we all sat here and said, watch out for Atalanta because tactically it's a way that they could hurt them? This is how I feel about Napoli and Manchester City. It's a mismatch. This is exactly the game that Antonio Conte wants to play in, and with Højlund, who could run in behind, I think he'll be getting on the score sheet.
Matteo, back to you.
I think Napoli in this game, completely agree with Grella. 35% possession. They're going to exploit Manchester City, that high line, make the most of the giveaways. Now they have Rasmus Højlund to actually run in behind. I still don't think Lorenzo Luca's on the same page as his teammates. And I was impressed with how good Højlund looked and how it looked like he had been there already for a few seasons. He was making all the right runs. His teammates were finding him. Just an instant impact and instantly made himself feel like part of the team. So super impressed with Højlund, and what a moment it would be for him to go to a Premier League team, score against a team like City when he did so poorly with United. Absolutely, Poppy.
Yeah, the storylines are all written, aren't they? How about Inter against Ajax then? Because this is their chance for redemption. Marco's pointing at Matteo just to make sure, thanks for the assist, to make sure I go to you first. You did the prediction. What's it going to be?
So Inter have never won away to Ajax. 2 games, never won Champions League. I think this is where they turn it around. Ajax, on paper, not as good of a team as Juventus. I think we can all agree on that. They still have Wout Weghorst in the attack, who I think Acerbi really loves those kinds of battles against physical, strong number 9s that can't move very well. Inter will rebound. I have a question about the goalkeeper, and I didn't think Jan Sommer, I'd be questioning him this early on, but if you look back at all the shots, all the goals, I think there's also a problem with his reaction times to some of those saves. Forget that 2 of those balls went through his hands. Inter lost. It was very fluky the way they lost. That shot from Adzic, the shot from Yildiz, you can make the same case for Çalhanoğlu, but that 4-3 was a bizarre scoreline because of the quality of the goals that all went in, all in the same game. It should have been a much lesser scoring game. There wasn't like a clear inside the box goal, right? So I think Inter turn around here against Ajax, get the win 2-0.
You both agree Inter win in this one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Grell?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. What about Atalanta then against PSG? Because they've got the toughest test of them all.
Thanks for leaving this game for me.
Mr. Positive over there.
I'm also realistic, even if I would love something to happen. We're talking about the best team in the world. This is PSG has got the most wins in 2025, the most goals. Atalanta just got their first win, and they're also hit with a lot of injuries, right? They have no Lookman. I mean, Lookman's not coming back to train for other reasons. Ederson, Scamacca, Ivan Juric's first time in the Champions League. This is going to be difficult. My optimistic score is 2-0 PSG. And I think I'm being relatively nice.
And it's
Can they upset and do something crazy even with PSG missing Doué and Dembélé? I think it'll be an absolute uphill battle.
Grell, you agree?
I think with under Juric, they've sat a little bit deeper, and if they invite PSG into the game, it's going to be really difficult. Under Gasperini, obviously they're a team that played man-to-man, pressed you more. That game is more open to analysis to see. But I think if they sit in, which under Juric they look like they are a little bit, they're going to suffer long periods without the ball, and it's going to be difficult.
Mm-hmm.
They're going in with house money. This is a game they're not expected to get any points from. So
that's true. Yeah, no pressure really on Atalanta.
Good way of looking at it.
Juventus, Grella, against Dortmund.
Yeah.
This is going to be a big one, isn't it? Especially after what we saw against Inter this weekend.
Yeah, we saw the birth of Tudor, right? A guy that now all Juventus fans are saying, hey, this guy was the guy. He was right underneath our nose the whole time. He looks good. The substitution to Adzic is just such a nice little touch that he did yesterday. And then the birth of Yildiz as well, now that he's put himself into the big conversation, right?
Delivered by the stork.
At least they were both born to me, actually, yesterday. But I will say Juventus have something different this season. Defensively sound, very similar to Napoli. Defensively sound, difficult to play against. Borussia Dortmund bring a lot of quality and a lot of experience in this competition. But I like Juventus at home in Torino. I'm very optimistic about them.
And really quickly, the last few years, Dortmund is one of the hardest teams to predict. Who they lose against, who they win against, makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true. Especially you only have to look a few years ago when they made it all the way to the final, didn't they, against Real Madrid? Well, football fans, this is your chance to save big on a Paramount Plus subscription for a limited time only. Paramount Plus annual plans start at just $30 for your first year. That's like $2.50 a month.
That's actually a good deal.
And it's not just soccer. Mobland, Landman, UFC's on the way, Dora the Explorer.
So much more.
Tell me we have to.
ParamountPlus.com/fall offer to get started. That's how you can do it. And an unprecedented occasion for the Golazo network. We're going to have a free preview of the new Champions League season with Kate, Thierry, Jamie and Micah on the Champions League today. And the Golazo show hosted by Nico Cantor alongside Charlie Davies. You definitely won't want to miss that. All right, stay with us. We've got so much more to come here on Match Day. After the break, we're going to bring you who is new at Cremonese, a few new faces, including Jamie Vardy, and around the league as well, with much more from the summer transfer window. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us.